Hi, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my new dorm room. I was about to say Nora-do room. New dorm room. You can't see it. Sorry, but I'm in it. And today we're going to be talking about 24 books that you should read in 2025. Oops. Maybe I should choose another one. Maybe I should choose another one. And today we're talking about 25 books you should read in 2025. We're going to split this into two categories. One is going to be books that I just really enjoyed in 2024, and then the other one is going to be just books that I generally recommend that maybe everyone should read or everyone can get something from. So one is going to be more my taste, and the other one is just books that, like, even if they weren't my favorite books of the year, I just think they're important, maybe required, if you will. Yeah, all of these books. None of them are on my top 10 books, which you can watch now. And you can also watch my most disappointing books of 2024. So hopefully with these videos you get kind of a vibe of my taste, if that matters to you. But let's just jump right into it. No order. I'm just going to split it up into books that I enjoyed and then books I recommend. So we're going to do, I guess, recommend first. Okay. First one is The Other Wes Moore by Wes Moore, who is some political leader in Maryland. I can never remember what he does specifically. But it's a memoir, and it basically follows the two lives of two people named Wes Moore. Both of them were born in Maryland. They lived very close to each other, but their lives turned out so differently. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll leave it at that, but I just think it's pretty interesting, just like how like your environment shapes you when you have the same environment. It's interesting. Like they have the same name, but like the courses of their lives were just vastly different. So yeah. The next one is How to Be Perfect by Michael Schur. I actually read this with my mom. We finished it on the day before I graduated high school, which was cool, or maybe the day of. I can't remember. But basically, Michael Schur, you may recognize that name. He's the creator of the show The Good Place, as well as Parks and Recreation, I think. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, maybe. He's involved in those, and the new show on Netflix, A Man on the Inside, with Ted Danson, who's also in The Good Place. And basically in this book, he teaches us about different schools of philosophy. And if you listen to the audiobook, actors from The Good Place actually read it, so it's pretty cool. And I did enjoy it, and I learned a lot. So like, if you're interested in philosophy at all, I would say this may be required reading. You'll learn something for sure. I took notes. If you want those notes, you can't. Just read the book yourself. Okay, then we have How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. This was just an important book. Obviously, I read this in a few days, took notes for that as well, which are bookmarked to my laptop now. I should probably reread them. But yeah, even no matter how much you think you know, when it comes to anything really, there's always more to learn. And like obviously, I feel like people have like maybe a baseline of information that they go in knowing, but like yeah, as I just said, you can know more. And it was very informative, and I definitely want to read more books. Like I have a book called An Abolitionist Handbook by Patrisse Cullors that I also want to read, which also has to do with the race. But another one is called I'm Still Here by Austin Channing Brown, maybe. I thought this was a man. It's a woman, and she talks about earlier in the book, this isn't really a spoiler, how like her parents named her that so she could at least get in the door when applying for jobs. I don't think that was the only reason. Maybe it was. It's been a while, but I read this like in a sitting. It just talks about the black female experience, which I don't know that much about, so yeah. Most of these are memoirs, I'm noticing. Or like just nonfiction in general. Okay, then we have The Talk. I don't remember who this is by, but this is a graphic novel about the talk that the author is having with his son about like race in America. So yeah, we're sensing a theme maybe. The next book I have to generally recommend to you is The Depression Cure. Stephen S. Alardi, I want to say, but it talks about 6 different ways that will help with depression without the use of medication. So, for people depressed out there, like I am, this may be good. I read this when I was on a cruise and I had no electronics. I made a video about it if you want to check it out. My experience reading this book, and then, or before, you can read the book. Alright. Next we have Legacy by Dr. Uche Blackstock. Excuse me. Next we have Legacy by Dr. Uche Blackstock. She graduated from, I want to say Harvard. It may not be Harvard. But she's actually like the second generation of her family to do that. Her mother was a medical doctor, and her twin sister and her are both medical doctors. I think they were actually the first like mother-daughter pair to graduate, black mother-daughter pair to graduate. And it just talks about, I guess, inequality inside the medical field, whether that be like how patients are treated, and just like her experiences working in like different sectors of the medical field. It was pretty interesting, and she read it herself, the audiobook, which always helps. Alright, then we have Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. This book takes place in Iran, and it follows her childhood up to age like 8 or something, around there, maybe older, I don't know. I went in not knowing anything about Iran, and I still don't know that much, but at least I know a little more. So yeah, if you don't know that much about it, I'd recommend it. It's just like, I need to read more books set in places outside of America, or starring people that come from that culture. Like, I recently read in January, this month, A Woman Is No Man by Itaf Rum, and I learned some things about the Palestinian culture. So, yeah, more information. Never a bad thing. And I think I'm motivated more to get that information, to want to get that information if it's in a book. So, okay, we are almost done. Beautiful Boy by David Sheff. You may recognize that title because there's a movie with Timothée Chalamet. Excuse me, Oscar-nominated, 2-time Oscar-nominated Timothée Chalamet. The nomination just came out yesterday. Oh, I just realized another I'm Still Here is a Oscar-nominated movie, and that's also titled the book I recently said. Anyways, this is in the pursuit. If you don't know what Beautiful Boy is about, it's a person and his father as they as they go through his addiction to methamphetamines. Sorry, there are people in the background. So Beautiful Boy takes the perspective of his dad, like his experience having a child struggling with that, or being addicted to that substance. And then the next book I want to recommend is Tweak by Nick Sheff, which is the son, the aforementioned son. Beautiful Boy, he's the boy. He's the boy. So, yeah, this was definitely way tougher to read than Beautiful Boy. It really got into the nitty and gritty of like his everyday experience, trying to like looking for drugs. Yeah. So, I can say this book has reaffirmed my dedication to not do drugs. And that's it. I never said it would be half and half. I mean, it can't be since there's 25, but we have, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 nonfiction general recommendations. Now we're going to go to books that I liked this year or last year that didn't make it on my top, whatever. So, like, honorable mentions, if you will. Alright, first one is None of This Is True by, I'm literally reading it right now. How do I not know the author? That's embarrassing. I personally... By Lisa Jewell. And I've been wanting to read this for so long, and I just keep thinking of like the specific sentence in the book, so I decided to just start it over, and I've been basically smiling the whole time, despite the subject material. It's like a thriller, Two people meet on their shared birthday. They were born at the same hospital and the same day, and then it goes on from there. And they have some sort of relationship. They get to know each other more. It's just really, it's twisty and it's good, and I'm listening to the audiobook, which I really enjoy. They're Brits. That's cool. Yeah. Yes, and I'll definitely be reading more of Lisa's books based on how much I love None of This Is True, or I like None of This Is True. Then Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. Octavia E. Butler actually didn't predict, but correctly assumes the future in the sense that she has another book called Parable of the Sower. I read this on Instagram. This isn't my original thought, but where LA is engulfed by fires, and also there's a candidate that is running on the slogan "Make America Great Again." That's kind of trippy, and I haven't read that book, but I have read this, so let me maybe tell you about this book instead of that one. This follows a person in the 1900s that is somehow transported to, I guess it's maybe the 1700s. She's black in America, so she is sent back to her ancestors. So basically she just finds herself in a place that is more racist than current society, where enslaved people are a thing. I know they are still today, but I can't really talk about it without spoiling it. I mean, it's called Kindred. Is that really a spoiler? Moving on. One Day by David Nichols. There's a TV show. I made a video comparing the book and the TV show, if you want. There's also a movie. I didn't watch the movie. But this just follows two people that meet one day every single year about. It's, I guess, kind of a romance, but I don't necessarily want them to be together. I just really am interested in them as characters. I listened to the audiobook and I enjoyed it. I'm just thinking of someone's voice right now in my head from that audiobook. And if you're going to read it, you might as well watch the show, because both of them are really good. Really good. So, yes. You probably heard of that. Maybe. Okay, then Elena Knows by, was this on my favorite 10 books? Hold, please. It was not, but I have a sneaking suspicion that at the beginning of my 10 books, I read these honorable mentions already. So, sorry. I didn't edit that video. I didn't even watch it back. So I don't know for sure, but whatever. It follows a person, Elena Knows. It's translated from, I definitely mentioned this in another video. I think Brazilian. Portuguese. And her daughter passes away, and she's trying to figure out what happened, or no, she knows what happened, or she's trying to figure out what happened. It's about motherhood, and it's follows her journey, trying to get somewhere where someone is that hopefully will help her. It's about motherhood, and she also has Parkinson's disease, the main character, Elena, so it's kind of about what to do when your body, the thing that I rely on a lot, doesn't work the way that it used to. So next is Hunger by Roxane Gay. This is a memoir as well, but I guess I didn't put in gender recommendations. It could have been. It really could have been. But basically it is about Roxane's life being a plus-size black woman, and she kind of personifies the term hunger, or that's it. Personifies hunger and just talks about her experience. And I enjoyed it, and I think I want to write a book like that, where something like a concept is materialized, like that in this book. Next is Good Talk by Mira Jacob. I feel like I talked about these all before. I'm sorry, I definitely did. Not all of them, but some of them. And this is a graphic memoir, so it's like a graphic novel, but it's a memoir about Mira Jacobs' life. And it starts off with her son asking her questions about like race. So it's kind of similar to The Talk in that regard. But I did enjoy this more than The Talk. That's funny. We have Good Talk and The Talk. But yeah, it was cool, and it was like an ensemble cast. I listened to the audiobook, so I enjoyed that. Then How Can I Help You? I can't remember who this is by, but it follows librarians, which I've never read a book in the perspective of a librarian, which is a weird thing to say, like they're like a species or something, but it's just cool. And it's about two librarians, and they don't act the way that I stereotypically believe librarians would act, which was the fun of it. It was pretty short. I had finished it in a day, and yeah, if you have a few hours of free time, I feel like you can just go ahead and read it. Okay, almost ish done. I who have never known. Oh no, I missed one. Sorry. All right, almost done ish. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. The thing I remember most about this book is the quotes. There's such great quotes, such relatable quotes. I need to read this book again for sure. At this point, I'm just going to read every single book that Frederick writes. But it's about a robbery that takes place during a showing of a house or an apartment. There's also a Netflix TV show which I watched. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the book, but yeah, if you're into like some relatable quotes about like depression, anxiety, this is your book. I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harperman. This is, I don't know if it's considered dystopian, but it's about a society. That's not really true. It starts off. The narrator is unnamed, and it follows her life in some kind of, I don't know if cavern's the right word. Somewhere like, it's not underground, but it's like secluded, and she's there with like 40-something other women, and they don't know how they got there, and they're being watched by men. And that's all I'll say. It was definitely kind of sad, in my opinion. It didn't make me feel good, especially at the end, but I just think it's becoming like a modern classic. It's actually it's not really new. I think it was like a republished, but it was like published originally in like 1980 or 1990 or something. But yeah, I love how it's the main character is unnamed, and I still like understand her. I get her. And yeah, it just follows their journey. This is hard to explain without spoiling. And then A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I read this because I wanted to watch the TV show, which I did and made a video about. I know the TV show is also renewed for a second season, so I'll probably be back reading the second book and watching the second season eventually. But this is about a person in high school who is trying to solve like a case that she think went the wrong way. The person that was accused, she thinks, didn't do the crime. So yeah, that's all I'll say. But it was really good. The main character is a character for sure. She was cool. Okay, we have five more. Patron Saints of Nothing by Randy Rebay. This is a book that I read pretty late in the year, like November or October. But it starts off, this isn't really a spoiler, with the main character realizing that his cousin has died and no one will really tell him why. So he decides to go to where his cousin died, which is the Philippines. His family is from the Philippines, and I think he was actually born in the Philippines. So yeah, it just follows him trying to uncover that mystery. And I definitely felt that kind of the vibe when you feel like you kind of have an obligation to know more about your culture, like if your parents didn't come from America or weren't born in America. They're just relatable things that I thought I was the only one who had experienced them. So maybe Children of Immigrants. you may be interested in this. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. I know this book does not have the best history for sure, but the only reason why I read it was because I was in Willy Wonka. I can show a picture now, if you really want. But I played Willy Wonka, and I just wanted to hear exactly from the source. I did not watch the movies before the show, but I did read the book, because that's like the original, not the interpretation. So, yeah, I liked it. It was pretty funny, short, just nice. I have been thinking for a while about making like a Roald Dahl playlist. There are a lot of different adaptations out there. I recently read or watched The Fantastic Mr. Fox, like during the fall time. And of course, there's The Witches, which has a movie, as well as Wes Anderson's shorts, the something Henry Sugar, The Wonderful Life of Henry Sugar, or something. So there's a lot of media out there. If I get more interested, or if you show interest, so. Okay. There by Tommy Orange. Honestly, this is the book out of all of them that I liked the least. I didn't like it, but it still is important. It talks about different indigenous people living in, I can't even remember where they live, but it just follows their lives. And I definitely need to work on reading more books, as I said before, in cultures or perspectives, societies I don't know that much about. So that's the main reason why I read it, honestly, but I know there are like more books out there. I know I'm interested in a book called And Then She Fell, which also follows like an indigenous protagonist. So, but yeah, you should give that a try. A lot of people like it, so there must be a reason. Then, The Way to Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is actually a reinterpretation of Carrie by Stephen King, but now it's a black girl, and that definitely adds a level of interest to me. I'm not sure I'll ever read Carrie, but I knew that I wanted to read this, and I did. It was also a Nebby nominee, which I think like got it in my ear for the first time, or got it in my eyes, if you will. Attracted my attention. But I read this in 2 days, on July 4th of all days, and July 3rd and 4th. So if you're into, I don't know, like reimaginings of like classic stories, give that a try. And the final one was actually a reread from a while ago. I've been reading this, the first time I read it was a very long time ago, but I still like it every time. And that's Drama by Raina Telgemeier. This is a graphic novel, and it just follows a few people in a theater club in their, I think it's middle school actually. But yeah, I read this when I wasn't involved in like a play or musical at my school, maybe feeling a little like post-show depression. And this definitely helped. It's just a really solid book. Nice representation. It's just fun. It's just nice. It's a good short graphic novel to read. And those are all of the books. Those are the 25 books that you should read in 2025. If you're not interested in my top 10 books. I mean, you can read 35 books this year if you want. No pressure. But yeah, I just wanted to film this video. I also wanted to just get past that initial hurdle of filming for the first time in the dorm, because I knew I hadn't yet. So I said today's the day. I thought today's the day. I didn't actually say it. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you around. Maybe in the next chapter. Bye.